Hi, and welcome to Sudoku Solving, YouTube's premier channel for everything Sudoku, including instruction, puzzles, puzzle assistance, and walkthroughs. My name is Eric. I'm the channel creator, and I will be your Sudoku guide through your learning process. Now, between you and me, a quick disclaimer. This is my first recording on my first YouTube channel, so if you could, please pardon my ums, ohs, and other mistakes. I'm working on being more professional. Okay, today's topic, the very basic no-rush rules of Sudoku for the very beginning player. Now, maybe you aren't as good at solving Sudoku puzzles as you wish you were. Maybe you're tired of starting puzzles and never finishing them. Or maybe you've never seen a Sudoku puzzle before and you're just curious. In any case, you're in the right place. In this video, together, we will start from the bottom and work our way up. And once we get through this boring stuff, we can get to the fun puzzle walkthroughs I have planned for you. Alright, that leads us to the question of the day. What does bring you here today? Why are you looking to improve your Sudoku skills? And what would you like to see in future episodes? Please feel free to leave your answers in the comments below. And I'll try to respond to as many as I can. Alright, with that said, let's get down to business. Now, forewarning, game rules are boring, and this likely will not be an exception to that rule. If we get through this, we can get to playing some puzzles together, and that's where the fun is at. So let's break the game down into its basic parts by definitions, rules, and objectives. Alright, let's start with some definitions. In front of us, we've got what's called the game grid. The game grid, here's an empty game grid. The game grid is a 9x9 grid of what are called cells. Cells are what hold numbers. Now, that game grid can be broken down into what are called boxes. Boxes are these 3x3 pieces of the game grid. Some people call them regions, but going forward, I will always call those boxes. The game grid is organized horizontally in rows, and they're stacked row 1 through 9. And it's organized vertically in columns, column 1 through column 9. All right. Now, every game starts with some cells that already have numbers assigned to that cell, and those are called givens. I've highlighted some. And of course, every Sudoku has some cells that are empty. Those are known as unknowns. We have givens and unknowns. Now, each cell is assigned a correct number solution, and that solution is a number ranging from 1 through 9. No letters, no numbers other than 1 through 9. All right. It starts getting better now. So we have some rules. The objective of the game is to figure out what numbers should go into each empty cell or unknown. Now each cell has only one correct answer. There are some exceptions to that rule. They're very rare, and we won't ever touch on that here. So we'll go on the assumption that every cell has only one correct answer. There are no duplications of any numbers on each row. So in each row, there's only going to be one of each 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The same rule for columns. Each column will only have one of each 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the same rule goes for each box. Each box will only have one instance of 1s, 2s, 3s, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9s. All right. There's a couple strategies. Now, you find cells where only one number can go into it. So in this instance, this highlighted cell, if you look, there's a 1 in the same box. So we can't choose 1 for that. There's a 2 in the same box, a 3 and a 4 in the same box. So we know those aren't what go into that space. There's a 5 in the same column, so we know it can't be a 5. There's a 6 to its right in the same row, so we know 6 doesn't go into that space. And 7, there's a 7 in that same row to the left, so it's not 7. There's an 8 in that same box and column, so it's not an 8. So that means, for sure, that answer that goes into that space is a 9. Next strategy. It's going to sound similar, but it is different. You're going to find numbers where they can only go into one cell. All right. Going back to our rows, or our rules about rows, if we look at this 2 here, this row has a 2, and this row has a 2. That means there has to be a 2 placed into this row. Well, there's a 2 in this box and a 2 in this box. So that means that 2 must go in this box. Now don't worry if you don't see that or understand that. Trust me. But you'll understand it and you'll see it later on. I'll get you there. All right. Third rule, no guessing. Just take your time. As I said, every space, every unknown has only one answer, and every one can be solved with the fourth strategy. With the right logic, you can find the answer for each cell. All right. Let's look at some more basic examples. These rules are so dry. Good. All right. Here we have a grid that's actually a 1 by 1. Now, if this was real and using the same rules that we just went through, and we only have 1s, we would know quite simply that the correct answer that goes here has to be a 1, right? Makes sense, right? Okay. Now what if we do a 2 by 2? Okay, we have 2 by 2, and we have an answer pool that ranges from 1 through 2. Okay. We have a known, a given of a 2. Well, we know it can't be duplications on a row, so that means that has to be 1, and there can't be duplications in a column, so that means 1. And using that same rule, there would have to be a 2 here. What about if we had a 3 by 3? A bit more complex. We have numbers ranging from 1 through 3. Same rules. No duplications in columns or rows. When I look at this here, I see we have 2 2s. Well, we have a 2 in this column, the third column. We have a 2 in the first column, so that means we need a 2 in the second column. We have a 2 in the bottom row and the middle row. Well, that means we need a 2 in the top row. So that means a 2 goes in the top row, middle column, right here. All right. We have this row. The middle row has a 1, a 2. Let's put a 3 in that remaining spot. The third column has 2 givens, a 2 and a 3. So that means we've got to put 1 here. 1, 2, 3. How about this column? 3, 2, 1. And this last row, 1, 2, 3. And if we look at that, we can check each row and each column. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It checks in every direction. All right, last example. A 4 by 4. All right, we've got an answer pool ranging from 1 through 4. We have some givens. Well, if we look at the fourth column, we have only 1 unknown. So that'll be easy to solve. 1, 2, 3. So that leaves 4. When I look at this puzzle, I can see there's 3 1s. 1 in this column, and this column. So that means the far left column does not have a 1. And when we look at the rows, a 1 on the bottom, the third, and the second. So that means we need 1 for the top. Top row, left column is a 1. Okay. 2, 2. Okay. If we look at the 2s, we have a 2 in the first column and the fourth, none in the second and third. Well, if we can put 1 in the second column when we look at the rows. The second column doesn't have a 2, but we can't put 1 in the second row because of that 2. Can't put 1 in this row because of that 2. And there's a 1 in that space. So that leaves 1 space, 2. And then we can solve for the fourth 2. We have 1 in this row, the second row, not the third row, but we also have 1 in the fourth. So that means we need a 2 in the third row. But we can't put 1 in the first column. That leaves the third column. All right. If we look at this first row, 1, 2, something 4, that leaves 3. And the same for the third row, 1, 2, 3, 4. Going down, 1, 2, something 4, so that leaves 3. Bottom row, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second column, 1, 2, something 4, that leaves 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Oh, crud. All right. So now what? What are the next steps to take to improve your enjoyment out of the game? I recommend you practice. Practice, practice, practice. There are plenty of options that'll fit in anyone's life. There's books you can purchase anywhere. I've seen Sudoku books at gas stations, and even thrift and dollar stores have them for a reasonable price. Assuming you have a smartphone, the App Store has many Sudoku apps available. Many of them are free. Or you can just come to this channel, where I'm going to have free downloadable puzzles available. You'll be able to download the puzzle. The cool thing will be that they'll be sorted by difficulty. And here's an example of one. I'll have these free puzzles available. You'll download that. You'll be able to solve it. And if you get stuck, you'll be able to come back to YouTube to view my walkthrough for it. You'll be able to see start to finish, how to go about it, and to get past that stuck point. All right. Well, that's about it for today. Hopefully you found it helpful. Before you go, I'd love one last bit of feedback from you. Did you like or love the video? Please hit the like button below. Want to see more of these videos? Hit subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be alerted when those come out. Did you dislike or hate the video? Well, I hope not, but if you did, hit the dislike button and leave some feedback in the comments below as to why. If you know anyone that could benefit from this video, please share the video. It's how these videos grow, apparently. So, all right. With that said, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a good day.